Hello, this is KMTV. Welcome to the Diaspora Talk. My name is Nathan Charles, sitting in the presenter seat. It's a beautiful day. It's December 27, 2023. Few days for the year to end. My name is Nathan Charles. My colleague Cyrus McGill hopefully will be joining us Andrew and Prouse here on this program, the Diaspora Talk. We're looking at the issues from Liberia. As you know, the National Elections Commission certificated President and Vice President elect Joseph Human Boka and Jeremiah Cohn at the National Elections Commission office in Monrovia. And also, several persons are reported dead in Bong County after a fire incident. We'll be going into that situation there from Bong County. And the race for the speakership intensified. There are war of voice between Deputy Speaker and Speaker Buffer Chimos and Funanti Kofa. What are they saying? We'll be hearing from them respectively, hopefully. And the mistreatment of Liberians traveling to Liberia for the holiday season via Royal Air to Morocco. What is it like? Front Page Africa has been digging into that story. And as you know, the Liberia Business Association Diaspora upcoming business meeting, what are some of the things to be discussed and the achievements of the entity? Jackson George, our panelists will also be giving us more highlight. Welcome, Jackson, to the Diaspora Talk. And how was your celebration?
I think, thank you, Nathan. I think the holiday went well. Christmas is time to be home. I think most people were home. I was grateful that we had a great Christmas. I was able to see my both parents are still alive, even though we had a tough time. My dad went through a whole lot. His leg was amputated. He's doing fairly well right now, and so we are grateful to God that my father was able to see another Christmas at the age of 80, 81 years old.
Thanks so much, and sorry for that incident. Pray that you have more courage to carry through.
Thank
And
you.
for some people in Liberia, I just spotted one of the persons from Liberia who posted how they celebrated their Christmas, one Josephine, and she took me back to those days. Take a listen at how she celebrated her Christmas with the family. This is a long time playing activities there. What a way to celebrate! What a way to celebrate your Christmas with the family. As you know, people did not receive the pay who are working for government, so you have to create that avenue. You know, people don't have luxury Christmas tree like in the U.S., so they have to create that moment for them. But another person celebrated his Christmas. He expressed dissatisfaction over how they are treated in the U.S.
What happened this morning triggered me. I have to do this little short video. You know, the people in Africa or Liberia, Africa as a whole, when they have relatives, friends, and family overseas, they tend to take advantage over us. So this morning I was asleep or got up and about to get ready for work. My phone kept ringing back to back, back to back. So I got a call from a family. You know, as soon as I pick up the call, I'm like, "What's up?" He didn't even ask me how you doing, how's the kids, nothing. He's like, "Oh my man, the Christmas coming with female this to Christmas. Are you sending something for us to make things happen?" So I'm like, this Christmas holidays, this whole season is kind of rough. Things are difficult. I haven't bought nothing yet for my kids, and I have a lot of responsibility. I got a lot of bills that I need to take care of. So be patient. You know, wait until after Christmas. I will probably see what to do. Dude got mad and he hung up the phone on me. So I'm sitting over there like, this stuff don't make no sense though. You got family members, you got friends in Africa.
That's a Liberian there in the US expressing a dissatisfaction. I know we all go through the same situation. But let's move over to our major discussion here. I just thought we still were discussing Christmas, how different reaction, people expressing dissatisfaction, some people playing with the family. But the big story today, at long last, Vice President, President-elect Joseph Human Boka and Jeremiah Cohn were certificated today by the National Elections Commission, declaring them the official leader in 2024, January 22nd. as the new president-elect to govern Liberia for 6 years. So the ceremony was held today, and Vice President Joseph Yuma Boka spoke at uh, that program. Let's listen, and we'll come back. We'll discuss his message and what it means for Liberia. And at least he's back in the country, because there were rumors that, hey, he was in the U.S., he would not. Some people were praying that he would not make it back to Liberia. Some people say he was not go back on time for inauguration, but he went back on Sunday to a very lively program at the Ramos International Airport. But at this event, Vice President Joseph Yuma Boka had this message to say.
Our lives and service must reflect fitting tribute to many heroes and heroines on whose shoulders we stand today. We must nationally celebrate a watershed moment in our history, in our search for democratic consolidation. Liberia has had its share of difficulties, and now in the sea of democratic uncertainties, regionally and globally, we have demonstrated to the world that we can be different. We can offer a model set of good examples. We can boast of peaceful elections and act responsibly to ensure smooth and peaceful transition. What we celebrate today is the outcome of years of turmoil, military coup, an aberration of democracy, betrayals, and now we can all acknowledge the reward of collective endurance. Let me start by expressing my thanks to my family and my darling wife of decades who stood by me through these challenging times. The Unity Party, which has proven and trusted me to bear its standard. The great alliance formed with men and women of fortitude. The Liberian people who not only voted, but with determination protected their votes. Also, we want to recognize the role played by the National Election Commission for correctly interpreting and announcing the votes of the Liberian people. We are grateful to our international and regional partners who supported and invested in an idea that had flourished. We want to thank our political adversaries, and particularly President George Manuel Weah, who conceded even before the last vote was counted. He has also committed the government to a peaceful transition. We expect that the will of the people has prevailed.
You listen there to the president-elect Joseph Yuma Boka, Mr. Jackson George, and he's talking about this is the time for Liberia to celebrate, or Liberia to celebrate a peaceful election. And this is, he said, that his administration will ensure that all Liberians feel the impact and will fully articulate the path of peace, development, and progress in Liberia. What do you make of the president-elect message?
I think today is the beginning of the transition. A couple of weeks ago, President-elect Joseph Boyka was in the United States, and there were all kinds of rumors about where he was, what was going on. Now that he has returned home and he has received his certification, I think the transition begins. And so, one of the things that he said that touched me was the fact that under his administration, Liberia will never be the same. We are looking forward to that. We are hoping that the government that President-elect Joseph Boyka will be bringing into to full will be a government of, I would say, national unity, government, a government of professionals ready to work to ensure that our country develops. Again, I come from the background where no child should be sitting on the blocks in the classroom in the 21st century. Our healthcare system need to be seriously fixed. Our educational system need complete overhaul. Our business sector, we need to completely overhaul, incentivize our business sector. And so he comes in with a vast number of things that need to be done. It's just like when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came in, she had a whole lot of things to be done. And so it's no different. We went in front 6 years and we came back 6 years. So there's a lot of work to be done. I think we just need to see the first five ministers and see the direction he wants to go into. But I believe that the president-elect, I believe in him. I believe what he says he will do. And so we look forward to see him perform.
He said this event will be meaningless if Liberians cannot benefit from the dividends of their democracy. It must be felt in every town and village. I call on all Liberians everywhere to join me in rebuilding our nation. What do you make of that statement?
I think he's setting the tune for what he wants. Again, when there's a transition of power, people come in with all kinds of different mindset. Some people come in for jobs. Some people come in with their own ideas. But I think he's setting the path that he wants to see this country. He's right. With the resources that we have, with all of the natural resources and the endowment that God has given us, there's no reason why we all should not feel Liberia as it is. But he cannot do it alone. And so the soldiers that he's bringing on board, the generals and the captains and the colonels that he bringing on board must think the same way he's thinking, or else he will have a rough time getting this done.
The country was divided. Election proved that. Now, what mechanism can be put in place? We listened to the Secretary General, Jefferson Kochi, that this was a borough mandate. Vice President Boga, won just by fraudulent means, and now they will not accept position or job in his government. How can the Joseph Yuma Boga unify Liberians? What strategy can they use?
I think the Kojis will not accept job. If he's saying that, just because he knows he's not going to get job under this administration. There's some people.
He's talking about unity now.
But just because it says unity doesn't mean that you would just take anybody from in the administration and give them position. I think there are citizens who were sitting on the fringes. There are citizens who are professionals and were not even given positions within the current administration. But in terms of national unity, I think the president-elect should look at Liberia from a holistic point of view in terms of how can we get this done. And so he needs to bring in serious people with proven experience, professionals who can come in with loyalty and patriotism into the country first, noting that they're coming to sacrifice. I believe, Nathan, that most people will leave the United States, come to Liberia, get jobs, and will have to resign and come back here just because they can't meet the ends meet. Because this new government will be totally different from past government. If you're looking at things, people are being held accountable right now. Things are all over the place. People are talking about things. When the Liberian people voted, they voted differently. Liberia has changed. And so we are looking at the incoming administration, looking at the people he's going to appoint and see where they are. They should be public servant, they should understand that they are public servant and not doing us a favor. No more will we consider government ministers, deputy ministers and directors doing us favor. We've had too much favors in our country. So we're not going to start fighting for them to understand that they are public servant and we pay their salaries.
Vice President said Liberia will be a different country. What can you point to when he says different country?
I think it's already different. I mean, it's already different. He says, I will be the first to declare my asset. I don't think it's by by choice. The Liberian people,
Different in the positive or negative?
I
What
think
we're looking
positive.
at.
I think positive. One of the things that he said he would conduct an audit, whether the audit
That
is,
could be a wish hunt,
well, audits are not witch hunt. And
but he's going for the current government
like I
of
said,
George Weah.
look, there shouldn't be any reason why people should fear audits. Audits are not just financial. Look at our country right now. Why is it that our systems are not working? If we do not audit our system, how can we know where the problems are and how we can fix it? How do we know what has happened in the last 6 years? What process have been put in place? What is working and what is not working? I'm not going to sit here and say in the last 6 years nothing worked. There are some things that work that we need to maintain. Equally so, there are many things that did not work that we need to fix. So if you don't do an audit or conduct an audit, you would just come and start running the same machine like you do. It would take a difficult task for someone to come into a ministry without an audit to start fixing things. You have to understand who you have in the ministry. Can the workforce that you have do the work? Sometimes you want to do stuff, but you don't have the capacity to do. And so an audit is a good place to start. A system audit would be a good place to start, and maybe it will give us a good idea of why our healthcare system is where it is, why our educational system is where it is, why our roads and our roads are what they are. There's no reason why our country cannot develop. There's no reason why kids should still sit on the blocks in the classroom. There's no reason why we still using blackboard in our classrooms. There's no reason why our markets are looking the way they look. There's no reason why government is still the largest employer. There's no reason why our banks close at 2 o'clock every day. There's so many things. There's no reason why we don't have enough fire service and ambulances and other stuff in our country. This is the 21st century. So if you say everybody will feel government, I can understand that, yes, electricity would make sure that electricity all over the country, that we all enjoy the same benefit that the few are enjoying right now.
These are political rhetorics. We've been hearing them from previous government. Eden Jones Sharif came in saying the same thing. George Weah came in saying the same thing. Just like Boga came saying, is saying now, different country.
Well, I think when you're sitting from the outside, you see a lot and you can see a lot. It is said that it is easier said than done, which I totally agree with. The truth here is government is complex, compound complex. The complexity of government is tough. So from the outside, it's just like you're sitting in a soccer game and the guy missed the goal, and you say, "Oh, the guy missed the goal. He got scored the goal." You don't know what happened to his leg. You don't know what happened to his boots. You don't know what's happening. So that's why we're saying there has to be a system audit to understand where government is right now and what you want to do. Without an audit, it's just like you take over a soccer team and you're the captain. You don't even know the players that you have. You have not done research on them. You don't know. You're just placing them anywhere. And so a system audit would be a good thing to begin with, to give him a direction as to where we are and where we're going. But you're right. It is easier said than done. It takes a person with vision. It takes a person with fortitude. It takes a person with political will to change Liberia, because Liberia has its own systemic problem that if you are not careful, you will not be able to resolve. Because we got traditions, we got bad traditions in terms of how crimes are committed in our country and how justice is administered in our country. If we continue to follow that path, we will never develop. It doesn't matter if we brought Jesus Christ in, but with President-elect Joseph Boyka, with the way he's lived his life, at his age right now, I think he's the best person to transform this country, because he's not looking for 12 years or 24 years or 50 years. He got 6 years, and if he doesn't perform, the Liberian people again will find another president.
Indeed, Vice President Jeremiah Cohn and President-elect Joseph Boyka, they received a certificate today declaring them as winner in the election in Liberia. And as you know, the president returned to the country. Former vice president, president-elect returned to the country, Joseph Boyka. Social media was booming over this video of he and his wife in the church and trying to give him some chew gum for him not to sleep. And he has been all on social media. As you know, they are saying, hey, The vice president sleep a lot of function, but his wife tried to keep him alive. And let's watch this video. It's been on social media. We'll come back. We'll play you the clips from vice president when he
So
arrived.
my wife does that all the time. Is she giving me something out of sleep? I mean, she does that all the
What the
time.
hell
She
is
got candy
going on here? Yo, this is the incoming president of the Republic of Liberia. What the hell is going on here? Yo, that's the first lady. She just picked up something from her mouth and give it to her husband, and he put it in his mouth.
That's real love, huh? That's real love, right? I mean, people see
Trying to keep it up, man.
I don't know if that is the case. People see things differently. I mean, that's people been married for 50.
Yeah, well, it's a clear fight. The vice president sleep at occasion. Even Joseph, the president in the U.S. slept at one occasion. He woke up. So these are common things. So that's just
but you're surmising. You don't know. We don't know. We're surmising. I see it as people in love doing stuff. I mean, my wife does that too. I'm young, and she gives me candy. She gives me all kinds of stuff in public the same way. So I can relate to that.
Okay, Jackson just relating to that. Let's listen to the vice president-elect Joseph Boga when he came from the United States. He outlined some of the places he went and the engagement he had.
Fortunately, we did in Providence, where a lot of Liberian supporters and people from around the different states came. We met with them. We gave them thanks for their contribution to the exercise. Fortunately, a lot of them turned out. After that, the task ahead was to go to Washington, D.C. and meet our partners. We met the USAID people, the Africa desk officials. We met with the IMF. We met with the World Bank. We met with some of our friends in the Senate. In particular, we met the police. I went to Delaware. We met with a number of potential investors. We had a very long, hectic time. After that, we came back to Iowa.
That's the president-elect explaining some of the things he did while in the U.S. Though he came for some medical visit, he had some engagements too with Liberians and other stakeholders there. Jackson, what it means for Liberia? I think this is a way to stop pressing button because he met with a couple of U.S. officials while in the U.S., including Senator Chris Cohn and a few people from the World Bank. Like these are the pictures there from Joseph Boga and dedication. Samuel Kofi Woods, Amara Khan, former finance minister and senator-elect of Babolu County. And he met with these officials there a year in the United States. What it means for Liberia?
I think it's a good start. Coming to the United States, especially in December, where people are on holidays, to meet with some official government, I think it's a good start. What they discussed behind closed doors, I'm sure they were advocating for Liberia to bring some relief to Liberia. Again, we always look at the international partners to help us. I like that, but I also like the fact that we do have a lot of resources. We do have a lot in us, in our homeland, that we need to work on ourselves to be able to help our own selves. We cannot live on the banks of the river and wash our hands with spit. And that's why we do all the time. But I think it's a good start. We need to build international relations. We cannot live in isolation. Even if we had all of the resources, the minerals, we still can't do it in isolation. We still have to build relationship. And so I think it's a good start for the incoming president. I'm sure after that, again, whoever he's going to appoint a foreign minister would be the person, the face of government internationally, to be able to push his agenda in an international world. So he's setting the path for what he wants as in his government, and I'm hoping that others will see it and follow.
Indeed, others must see the example of Joseph Boga. You always say Liberia has a compound complex situation, and the first 5 or 6 person he will elect, I mean, he will appoint, will know as to whether they will help steer the affairs of the country. But for me, I'm seeing old faces of the Unity Party regime of Eden Johnson Sirleaf around the face of Joseph Yimon Boka. So all of the former security apparatus, the police, from Chris Massacre to A.B. Krugman to the other guys there, Gregory Coleman. I look into the other sector. I saw from commerce, I saw from foreign, and these are the old faces keep.
You know, I think, and
All
you're
of the
right.
old faces keep coming in the room. I'm worried, Jackson.
I think there has to be a balance. The 12 years of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, those officials who, some of them who went with her, some who stay around. They're still part of Unity Party now. There's other affiliate groups that were not part of Unity Party, but that came in, and it's he has to balance out all of these things. Sometimes we need to give new people a chance. Sometimes it's better to bring in new folks, make some of those people advisors on different commissions, but bring in new people with new ideas to be able to exist. So the president-elect has an enormous problem, a challenge, and that challenge is how he will balance out his cabinet, how he will balance out his government to be functional. Because again, like you said, there's faces from the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government. Ellen Johnson is still there. She's still pulling plugs or not. We don't know. So he has to balance out based on his relationship with those people over the last 6 or 12, I would say 18 years. So he has to know them, he has to trust them, and he has to bring them on board. But also he has to have a balanced cabinet with people who are not part of Unity Party who supported his cause. So that's something he has to do.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, because I mean, for me, I keep saying it because I know when people, it's like when I'm in your face every time, I keep other people away from you, and we're still seeing these people. We hope that those people you like, even the transitional team, I see all of them there.
One of the things that happened, I hope that it doesn't happen with the president. Take, for instance, the outgoing president, who is still a popular president in Liberia. I mean, he's still popular. If you look at the elections, it's only 20,000 vote after 6 years with all of the things that were said. He just lost by 20 or 22,000 votes. So he's still one of the most popular person in Africa, in Liberia. And so we have to keep it that way. But what they did to him was to put him in a bubble. There was a man who would stop, talk to people, in the market and do all of these things. All of a sudden, they put him into a bubble. And so I'm hoping that this new president will not be put into a bubble. He will still have access to talking to people and getting the real information, because one of the things, when you put into that bubble for security reason and you can't talk to nobody, you can't see nobody, and you're so afraid for your life, then the real people who are supposed to talk to you and tell you the truth, they're no longer there. So you only hear one side of the story, and you're not hearing all of the stories, because now you're in that bubble, and the people who are managing you in that bubble don't want you to be able to talk to the people you usually talk to. And sometimes that's the problem that they have. And then at the end of the day, it's too late, because I did not know all of these things. Now I know them, but it's too late. So I'm hoping that he's not tied into a bubble, that he's not talking to the people, the regular people on the street, or the people that he's normally talking to.
Indeed, that's Jackson George, our panelist on the Diaspora Talk, looking at President-elect Joseph Yimon Boaka's statement when he accepted and when he received his certificate declaring him winner in the election. Move over now to Tototabon County, a tragic incident involving a tanker that led to the death of over 10 persons, reportedly, and over 77 persons hospitalized. The situation happened in Tototabon County, and let's just play a piece of the video. We'll not go into the horrific situation there from Tototabon County. This video was taken from social media.
Is suspected to have been coming from Monrovia, and then according to all our witnesses, there were two other vehicles that was carrying the ether metal goods, those ions, and then and this truck Uno 2 was coming down trying to go on his lane, and the report said that there was a car, also a pickup, coming from ahead of the truck that carrying the 900, not 1,000 gallons of fuel. There, God's willing, and trying to.
So that's the truck that you see in the video, 9,000 gallons of fuel. And what happened later was very terrible. And that truck got on fire after people attempted, when these things happen, people won't go get some fuel. It's a means of, economic living. They went there. And after a few minutes there, you see the people there trying to extract the fuel from the truck. But this happened, and it was very much terrible, and resulting into the death of over 10 persons and 77 persons and reportedly injured in that situation. This is devastating, and we called on all well-meaning Liberians to investigate what really went wrong, the situation there in Totoda County. And now this is putting a major setback on the health sector there in Liberia. As you know, they are already challenged. We've been talking about this over and over. Now this situation, we are hearing from our reporter, Tatas Yengenya, saying that, hey, several medical facilities are overwhelmed with the situation there. He said the chief medical officer, Dr. Francis Ketter, says the death toll from the Tututa tank explosion has risen to 40. Now it is 40, according to the chief medical officer, Dr. Francis Ketter, leaving more than 80 persons seriously injured. So he said also speaking to the reporter during the visit at the Phoebe Hospital, Dr. Ketter told the media that more than 80 victims were taken to the Phoebe Hospital, and some were transferred to the John F. Kennedy Medical Center in Monrovia, the 14 Military Hospital, among others. That's the word from Dr. Ketter there. So the situation is alarming, and it is causing serious situation in Liberia. What is your own reaction to this situation? The tanker turned over 900,000 gallons. People went there, started extracting, and later the fuel went towards the engine. The engine is always hot, and in a few seconds, resulting now into 40 persons losing their life. What different could have been done? Preventive measures.
Well, Nathan, I think this is tragic. Families have lost loved ones. I saw the video. My initial idea was, if it is a gasoline tanker, why are people going there? Again, poverty is a disease. I think if we had a country where most of those young people had jobs and we had a good educational system, even with a good educational system, that's why we need to build strong institutions, because if we had strong institutions, a well-meaning police departments with the kind of equipment that they need to move over there, quarantine the place, maybe it would have been different. That's why we need system audit, so that we can audit the transport ministry, understand what are the requirements in terms of moving a tanker like that. If something happens, what are the personnel on board to deal with some of those issues immediately? I think we have a long way to go, Nathan. And when you say audit, people just think is to catch people and put them in jail because of corruption. System audit means a lot. And that's why we need, if we do a system audit, we understand what are the requirements right now to move a tanker from Monrovia to any part of the country. What if something happened? What's the need? Do we have what it takes? I come back to our national legislature. How much is the budget to put in place to deal with some of these things? Our hospitals are not equipped. And we sit there and always think that we don't have money because we're not working hard enough. I think the entire country from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, that's when we work. We need to work 8 hours a day to make sure that we work in the interest of the Liberian people. And so it is unfortunate. I'm not going to sit here and blame anyone for this for now, because I don't have enough information. But on a whole, I think we fail as a people to protect the innocent. We can say based on ignorance. Even in the United States, when something happens, you see people standing by. The police has to come and tell people to move away because people still come, even in an educated country like this. So poverty is a disease, and those people who were taking their little buckets and other things to go and get gasoline is because of poverty, and it has cost their lives, and this is tragic for our country.
Indeed, our hearts goes out to the family there in Bond County and all across the world, because I know everyone have some relative there. It may not even be surprising for some of us to start investigating, and we'll know some of our relatives. Because 40% we are from Liberia is so close, so we keep our eyes on them, and we hope that if things that they happen, because sometimes to prevention is good, being more proactive. If
You
you
know,
know thing,
one of the things, Nathan, I don't even know if we got a truck driving school in Liberia for safety. And these are some of the things. Again, that's,
Musa teach, Keita teach, Ansu,
but that's some of the things we need the audit for. And the audit will
CDL,
tell
yeah.
us what we have and what we don't have. And then, people can come in. It doesn't mean government has to do it. That's a business environment for people to come in, set up their trucking stuff, safety and concerns. So, it's so limited when we talk about audit, and people just think audit means go and catch the guy and put him in jail. That again, in Liberia, I tell people most of the things we call corruption is mismanagement, misuse of funds, moving funds from one place to another. Because I don't believe that if people really stole money in Liberia in 2 years, they'd all be broke. I mean, they take little, but they don't take the millions and millions that we all think that people steal millions of dollars. It's just misappropriation, the moving of money from one restricted funds into unrestricted accounts and using it, hoping that we'll put it back when the money comes, and it doesn't get back. So we need to fix our system. And whenever, for people like us who did organizational management and crisis management, when we talk about that, people think, why do we? This is not about. It's not about catching people. I can care less about catching those people. Now let's fix it so that it doesn't happen again.
Indeed, so it don't happen again. Let's take a word from our sponsor. We'll come back. We'll look at other issues in Liberia, the Park Liquor Outline.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
Indeed, Park Liquor Outlet, thanks for always sponsoring the Diaspora Talk Show. And don't forget, the Nathan Charles Insurance Agency is here to provide you a fast, affordable, a reliable insurance for your car, home, auto, and businesses. So contact us 816-433-979. And KMTV, we have our 360 booth. You can also rent for that baby shower, corporate events, graduation, wedding as well. We have a custom-made t-shirts for you to showcase a beautiful Liberian outfit that is in my DNA, as well as custom-made jersey. I think we've started receiving calls from other states that people want some of these beautiful custom-made jersey and t-shirts. We say it is in stock. We're trying to get up our online store as well, so you can order the continue to support the KMTV, the Joseph Human Broadcast campaign team. We have your t-shirts here for congratulations to Joseph Human Broadcast and Jeremiah Kuhn on January 22nd. Some of you can start zipping some tea and coffee in this mug as well. So this is KMTV. We are doing all we can to make you feel good. Before we go into our next topic, let me see if Jackson George is more balance or laughing. He's gonna read this. Let me see if you're not laugh on the on live set. Are you saying that? Please read that out.
Man 35 wanted for stealing Sanzakawa go watch. And that's the traditional leader?
Yes.
Wow. Oh yeah, I think I saw him with Gucci on one time.
I saw that. I was like, you see Zazakawa go watch. You
Yeah,
want that?
I mean, you're not even afraid of the zoo, my man. You're gonna steal the zoo watch, my man.
I
Back
thought
then,
that
back then when the zoos come to town, we were afraid. Now guys are looking at stealing the zoo watch. That means it tells you that Liberians are not afraid of zoos no more.
That was interesting for me. It got me laughing. Now we've been talking about this one big story. At long last, President George Weah has issued an executive order aimed at safeguarding state resources during the transitional period in Liberia's economic challenges. The order called for the suspension of all borrowings, accumulation of new debts, and repayment of domestic debts, excluding international borrowing with legislative implication and specific timeline. Approved requirement for the office of the president for all expenditure exceeding 10,000, except for salary and operational expenses for government ministries and entities. Jackson George, what
I
do you
think
make?
I think it's a good move to suspend all of that because some people will use this transitional period to expense funds in their own discretion how they want to do it or pay back some of the people that they owe personally or do favors for some people. So I think instead of using executive order, the incoming administration once settled can make that a law. That at this when there's a transition, during the period of transition, everything stops, including hiring and firing, so that people can stay in the same place. Assets are not move around. People not taking government properties and other stuff. So I think I applaud that. I think it's a good idea. It's a good executive order to ensure that access and all of these different things are not moving because again, people people started moving things. I think I saw something that the agriculture ministry was trying to spend so much money for drone purchases and domestic debt, which is about what 43 million. Can you imagine if it were being if all were being paid and the coffers would be empty for the incoming administration? So I think it's a great idea. Uh,
and halting of employment as well.
Correct. It stops the bleeding, and it helps the incoming administration. But I think it should be moved one step further and put into law. Even the budget for the transitional team should be a law. It should not just be all of the everything should be laid out. During the transition, you're supposed to make a report on this time, and everything should be put into our law books. Because if you don't, and you're only using executive order, then you leave it at the discretion of the individuals to do that. And so, if it's law and the people don't follow the law, even people will tell you if they don't follow the law, they can be fired, or the new administration can remove them based on the law. So I think we need to go back to the legislature so that this incoming administration can put some of these things into law, so that we don't use our own discretion as to what we want to do, when we want to do it, which will delay the process.
Indeed, which will delay the process. So we've been on the Diaspora Talk. Time is not in our favor. Uh, this big story, as you know, the Honorary Council of Liberia, Jetty, we call him Jetty. He during the Christmas celebration fed inmates went all around Liberia helping to provide food to a lot of Liberians. So these are some of the developments from Liberia. And you know our people are hungry and it takes, like you always say, a foreigner to come and feed our people with disadvantaged people, Zogos and stuff like that.
Well, Nathan, we're hoping that as the president-elect says, everybody will feel uh, Liberia. We have the resources. I'm happy that Jetty could do it. I think we need more people doing that, but that's not the solution to our problem. Our problems, we need to create more jobs. We need to invest into the private sector to ensure that more young people are off the street and have jobs. Most of the problems that we have in that country is because majority of the young people don't have jobs. And so I'm hoping that we will have more people having jobs, most of the young people with opportunities, and so that we're having, even in the United States, we still got places where people go for food. So
Yeah.
it's not a unique thing to Liberia. The food shelves. I work at a food shelf once upon a time and supply food to all the food shelves in the state of Minnesota and part of Wisconsin. So I understand what it is, but I think we need more jobs. We can't continue to call those young people Zogos because they are disadvantaged, economically disadvantaged. We need to create the opportunities to give them so that they value themselves and feel that they're part of our country. And so just to continue to stereotype and call them Zogos, and so they're acting as Zogos, and then we have a problem with that. So we just need to change that the name that we call them, give them something better so that they can have hope and change. So people in prison, some people are in prison for good reasons, and some people are in prisons for something that they did not do. So we need an audit of our justice system. We need to figure out all of these things, but equally so, we need to create the opportunities to get these young people off the street, to rehabilitate them, give them vocational training so that they can do things for themselves. We don't even have great electricians in our country, plumbers, mechanics. We need all of these things done. Again, government have to incentivize those areas so that business people can make use of that and take advantage of it so that our country can grow. Government should never be the largest employer. Our government have always been the largest employer, and that has hurt our country. And I'm hoping we'll have a smaller, effective, and efficient government, but invest into the private sector so that we can hire more people and create a vibrant community, a country for ourselves.
The race for the speakership intensified, but there are word of wars between Deputy Speaker Funati Kufa and Speaker Buffer Chambers. Speaker Buffer Chambers is alleging that Funati Kufa is undermining or has been undermining his seat. Speaker Chambers, Buffer Chambers said that, hey, this man who's my deputy, he has been planting seed of disunity in my county, supporting other people so I can be re-elected. But hey, Funati Kofa said the speaker is speaking out of misinformation. He was not informed properly. Now, politics is different thing. What is it like? Can Liberians or can our lawmakers elect? This is Funati Kofa when he was in the US. He's already back to Liberia. He held a press conference today. What is it like when our leaders are talking about undermining sea of disunity? What it means for our democracy in Liberia? You are plotting against Jackson George because I won't get to Jackson George's seat.
Nathan, one of the problems that we have as a people is for us to look in each other's eyes and discuss things truthfully. It's little too late. You, the speaker, if you feel this man was undermining you, you speak it out. Sometimes we push too many things under the rug. We don't discuss these things in detail. We have this family tradition where we just want to talk things in-house and they are hurt. Uh, right now, sitting down from the outside, Buffer Chamber is speaking out of frustration because he had the opportunity to discuss with this man. This is your deputy. You knew what was happening. You took no action, and now you complaining when you outside the doors. I mean, I don't see it from that point. We need to have men and women who would discuss issues, look in each other's eyes and talk it. I don't have a problem if I were the speaker to tell him why he was deputy speaker to say you undermining me and you're doing A, B, C, D. And if it continued, bring it to the public. But he did not, and so Fonati will be the right person now. Fonati is there. He won. He's running to be speaker. Why are you out? When you had the authority to bring him into your office and discuss this, and if it didn't happen, seek different redress. But many of the time, we are not able to look into each other's eyes and tell us the truth because we are too, for some reason, we cannot just do that. We talk behind people's back. We backbite people. We staff people in the back. We got misinformation. Most of the time, the information being presented is wrong. The lies are too many in our country. People seek favors by lying to each other. One of the things that also happen is that we also believe that for me to succeed, I must tear somebody down. We cannot succeed by ourselves. We must bring somebody down to succeed. And that has hurt us as a nation. So if you look into Congress, in our house and other stuff, that's what happens. That's why I always say legislative politics is terrible. It's not normal. And so it's sad that Buffalo Chamber, with all the resources he's had just in his little district, he could not poll it. It tells a lot about the speaker, who he is, and how he dealt with his own people in his district. So I think Fanati Kofa in this fight will win because Fanati is there. And so Fanati can say, I did
That's
not.
a prediction.
Exactly. No, what I'm saying, I'm not saying winning as speaker, but in the case with Fanati and Buffer Chamber, Fanati will win because Fanati can say, I didn't. Show me proof. But if you knew all of these, why didn't you bring it up? The way you're speaking now in public, why didn't you speak in public like that? And that's what I'm saying. We have to be men to look at each other and tell each other the truth. And so if he had the opportunity to speak then, why is he speaking now? That means he could not look at Funadi, his own deputy, and tell him the truth. Now that he's leaving office, he has mustered the courage now to tell Funadi that he'll undermine me. It's too late. He could have done that ever since and get Funadi to go in and campaign with him. If you are not undermining me, come and campaign with me.
He like Michael Showface.
Exactly. But he did not. So I'm afraid that it's little too late. He's going out. We got a guy coming in who he also underestimated that this guy would never win when he had the resources to even get his
Anthony Williams.
And so in politics, you don't underestimate anybody. And I think sometimes that's what politicians in Liberia do, and it comes to bite them.
Indeed, that's what politicians do. Let's go over to business now. As you know, the issue of Liberia Business Association LIBA program in the U.S., we understand that Thursday there will be a meeting. But before we come, let's play you this about talking about creating wealth from Chris Massaquoi Jr., not the police director, but his son. He had this to say. We'll come back and listen to LIBA's official.
Here is most of us Africans are not creative enough to create products. In fact, most of us, when we think about success, we think about getting a job. Right. We don't think about product creation. Wealthy people know that product creation is one of the most effective way to become wealthy. Right. When you create a product, you can mass produce it and you can distribute it to every store. You can sell your product to your whole country. You can cross borders and sell your products to other countries. When you create a product, everybody buys your product. When you create a product, everybody pays you for that product. But when you have a job, it is only your boss that pays you. If you're going to get rich, you have to create something that everybody can pay you for. This is where product creation is important. You cannot be in a country with 30 million people or 200 million people and still be poor. Something must be wrong with you. If you really want to get rich, a job is not going to make you rich. The money that is going to make you rich is not in a paycheck. The money that's going to make you rich is in the pockets of millions of people. Now you have to find a way to take that money from in the pockets of those millions of people.
Jackson George, do you agree with Mr. Chris Massaquoi Jr.?
Totally agree. We have to get to the point where we're creating generational wealth. I was just in Iowa, talking to a group of Liberian business owners down there. Many of the times a dollar stay in our community for less than 10 minutes. We do not have the big businesses, that absorb and maintain the funds. We got these small grocery stores, smaller businesses. We don't have the big, the broker companies. We don't have the big chains, gas stations, and all of these liquor stores and dry cleaners and all of these things that create generational wealth. So I agree with him. It's time for us to start moving into bigger things. It's time for us to start partnering. Many of the times we want to do it all by ourselves, and we don't have the resources and the time to do it all by yourself, and so he's right. You cannot get rich by working. I mean, Bill Gates created millionaires. So to become rich, you have to do things differently. You have to partner. And so we are all striving for generational wealth. But as African or as Liberians, we have to change our mindset. And our mindset is doing it alone. We don't even have our kids part of our businesses. So if something happens to you as a businessman, you're doomed. And so we have to change our mindset. We have to create wealth, and creating wealth, product creation is one of the ways to go. You can sell your product all over the world. The world has become a global village. And so now we have to understand that the world is a global village. If you had a product that you can sell, to millions of people, a quick nickel is better than a slow dime. It's all about volume. It's about volume. If you can sell a million product for 50 cents on a dollar, you still make money. Or 10 cents on a dollar. J.C. Penney, that's why they call it J.C. Penney. They started from pennies. And yet Liberians don't understand, if you made pennies on a dollar, you're still making money. It's all about volume. And so I agree with him. We need to change. The cell phone in our hands are machines. You can sell on your cell phone. You can sell globally now. We're all even owning a store, a brick and mortar. So there's a lot of things that we need to be innovative. Again, for young people in Liberia to be innovative, they must have the economy. And so they have to be fair. They have to get jobs. They have to be secure. Like our kids here can sit on the computers and create stuff. Most kids in Liberia can, and that's the opportunity that we need. But as business people in the diaspora, we need to start looking at opportunities in terms of owning commercial property. We need to start owning the big businesses. And the only way we can do it is to come together and make it work.
Indeed. So let's go over to the LIBA activities on Thursday. What is it like?
Well, we're just meeting at Pepper Rose Lounge to start our business. Networking is our Christmas holiday end of the year program. So we expect to see a lot of businesses there, and we'll just be networking. Nothing serious. It's just networking there. But Nathan, I have to go. I have a workshop that I'm conducting, a diversity training for one healthcare business, and it starts in about 2 minutes. So,
okay, thanks so much, Jackson.
Let me go and make some money, Nathan. Thank you.
You can be in a country according to Chris Massacre over 2 million people, and you still poor. Jackson George, they are our lead panelists on the Diaspora Talk show. We say thanks so much for always sharing the platform with us. Cyrus Maggie could not make it today, including Joanne Prowse. But this is the Diaspora Talk. We say thanks for always watching and sharing this broadcast. Well, have yourself a pleasant day from Brooklyn Park in Brooklyn, Minnesota. My name is Nathan Charles. We say we'll catch you on Friday, and we'll look at other issues about Liberia. We'll be looking at several things from Liberia. At long last, Joseph Yuma Boka was certificated today as President-elect of Liberia, and his Vice President Jeremiah Cohn likewise. And the death toll has reached to 40 in Bon County in Liberia. And the race for the speakership is intensifying. War of wars between Deputy Speaker and Speaker Buffer Chimos and Conde in Liberia. And let's look at the Liberia Business Association upcoming meeting. Jackson just said it's a time to catch up and review plans for LIBA activities. Have yourself a wonderful day from Brooklyn Center in Minnesota. And don't forget that Liberia is mourning the death of LRA boss Thomas Dona, who died as a result of protracted illness in India. We say, may his soul rest in peace, and our sympathy goes out to the family there of LRA, Liberia Revenue Authority in Liberia. Have yourself a wonderful day from Painesville, from Brooklyn Park in Minnesota. Have yourself a day.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
For politics, entertainment, news, and business. And this is KMTV. We are on your screen, we are everywhere. The best online Liberian platform you have. Make the best use of it. My name is Frank Artis, and I endorse this channel.
Hi, my name is Dr. Kent. Welcome to Brooklyn Chiropractic. Come to Brooklyn Chiropractic if you're having any back or neck pain. Especially, we specialize in treating people in auto and work-related injuries. We've been established here in Brooklyn Center for the last 14 years. And one of the pleasures that I have is helping out in the community. We've sponsored a lot of events throughout the years in the community, and we really appreciate being a part of the community. So if you're experiencing any pain, give us a try if you want a drug-free way to get better. Thank you.